Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What After Dentistry. As you all know, we have previously covered various aspects of clinical research in India and in the US. In today's video, we are going to understand how to pursue this field in Ireland after completing BDS. And to discuss this, we have with us Dr. Anshul Bhardwaj, Senior Clinical Trial Associate in Ireland. He is a highly accomplished professional in the field of clinical research with a wealth of knowledge and expertise in different therapeutics research areas, that is, dermatology, cardiology, nephrology, and gastroenterology. With almost 9 plus years of experience in the industry, Dr. Anshul has made a significant number of publications and specializes in clinical trial management. He has worked with some of the renowned organizations and academic institutions like Children's Health Ireland, Trinity College Dublin, etc., and has proven record of delivering oncology specific clinical research solutions. We are excited to have a conversation with him today to share his insights about the field of clinical research in Ireland, and we hope that this video will be both enlightening and informative for you guys. So, without further ado, let's get started. Hi, Dr. Anshul. Welcome you on our channel, What After Dentistry, to talk about how to proceed ahead with clinical research in Ireland after BDS. So, welcome you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Shane, for having me here on your platform. Thank you so much.
So, before we get into the formal discussion of how to, apply for the application and what is the process and how are the opportunities, we would like to know, like, how did you think of pursuing clinical research and that also in Ireland? Because usually people look into countries like US or, UK, Australia, Canada. That's the
Yeah.
most common opted options. But why Ireland?
So I would say, like, since my graduation from my BDS, I did my BDS, so I was really fascinated towards the public health interest. And while I was practicing my dentistry, so I was really into it. We were using like loads of dental materials and other stuff. So I was really into it. Like, how do we get the approval? Who invented those materials and instruments that we use in dentistry? So I started doing research on it, and then later on, I came to know with this clinic research course. So then I started exploring the options, the country options. But for Ireland, I had this liberty. My brother lives here, so I had this liberty. So that's why I chose Ireland particularly. And then, yeah, then I searched about the courses. So then I selected the Galway University for master's course. But yeah, I had interest in clinical research and instruments and things. That's why I think I pursued this career.
Okay, that's great. That's
Yeah.
good to know. So, how can one apply for the master course, as you mentioned, in Ireland?
Like I was saying, that you first we need to explore our own interest. You need to be very clear you are going to a non-clinical field. Though its name suggests clinical research, it involves some component of clinical side, but it's completely non-clinical field. You need to have a very strong mindset that you are going to non-clinical. And to prepare for your master's course, you need to, like, if you're discussing about Ireland particularly, so I would say to explore the option, to explore more options about the universities, colleges. They all the universities here, they conduct education fair in in basically in India in all the metropolitan cities. So I would suggest people to go and attend, make yourself familiar with the university names, cities, and all the colleges they offer this master's course, so that you will have an idea about the living standard in particular cities and their expenses, course fees, living expenses. So the first I would say to attend career fair and be ready. You should have your IELTS exam ready, and then prepare on your background. Like I said, it's a non-clinical field, so it's really good to have some kind of background experience
Right.
to pursue your career in clinical research. or do some sort of certification or some sort of workshops on research
Correct.
in India. Yeah,
Okay. So, as you mentioned, one needs to attend these career fairs or these edu fairs that are there so that they are
yeah.
well aware of the universities, across various nations, correct?
Mhm.
Any, any recommendation on the edu fair or the one that you attended?
So I would say what did I do is I dropped an email to the universities. All the universities, they have international offices in there. So we just need to drop an email, and then if they have any upcoming education fair in India, they probably will send you the details, and then you just need to register and go there. You will have an opportunity to question and answer them, like to have a one-on-one discussion with them.
Okay.
So that's the best way. Otherwise, or else you can search on Google or internet, or can directly communicate with your course coordinators as well. If you know that this is this course and this is the university, you should always drop an email to course coordinators. They are really good in terms of guiding you.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
and I think I remember that they usually conduct education fair in mid-May or April for upcoming session for October. So it's good to keep an eye in, from April.
Yeah, correct. And you also mentioned about IELTS, right? So, say at times some candidates are not able to clear IELTS. There is also an equivalent to IELTS, which is PTE. Is that relevant? One can apply for that?
Yes, so that's a good point. There are some universities they have recently started considering PET exam as well. But the time I came here, it was only one exam, that was IELTS, even though there are students who appear in TOEFL exam as well. But some universities, they only consider IELTS exam. But yeah, after COVID, they have started considering PET exams, so that's a good option as well. But I would suggest you to contact your course coordinator or university if they do accept PET exam score.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all your audience, if you want to understand the eligibility criteria of applying in any of the universities or college that you intend for, as Dr. Anshul very correctly said, please do look into or reach out to the course coordinators. They're very helpful and they will be guiding you throughout on the eligibility criteria or any other entrance examination that is required.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving ahead, I just wanted to know how soon can an Indian dentist or anybody from, somebody who's completed this graduation in healthcare or medical or dental or any other paramedical sciences, how soon can they apply for this? Or is there any kind of work experience that is required in clinical research?
So in terms of applying, so you can apply anytime after your graduation. You need a graduation degree. But I would suggest you to have some sort of experience if you are choosing a non-clinical research field. It's good to have some like a certification training done at your home place because you will be spending less money rather than going there and getting and attending workshops and spending in euros. So
Correct.
it's a good thing to have some sort of experience. Is always worth in terms of securing job. If you are completely fresher, you probably would see little difficulties, but there are other options as well. You can opt for volunteer work, but that's a separate thing. But how soon in terms of applying for the courses, I would suggest you to prepare in advance at least a year
Mm.
because you need time to prepare your IELTS exam and you should have your score band ready to go. And the second thing is about your education loan. If you have funding available from your family, that's really good. Otherwise, you should have a disbursement letter ready from your bank. And then the second thing is about your statement of purpose or your actual, your work experience relevant to research. All these things counts, but to make an application, you should have these two things ready, at least your IELTS and your education loan.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned about education loan, one can apply it from their home country or is it available in Ireland also?
I would say to avail it from India, from your hometown. There are option to get a education loan here as well, but I think you need to have someone as a sponsor, like a guarantor in Ireland. But if you have anyone, that's really good. You can get your education loan from here as well. But in most of the cases, we usually don't have any, relatives or any friends living in abroad. If you don't, then I would suggest to go for Indian banks. They
Okay,
will be less in terms of education interest.
oh,
Otherwise, you will be paying so much interest here.
correct. And how much is the total time and cost that is involved in doing this master's course?
I would say you should have at least 6 months ahead of your date of from your 6 months from the start of the course date. That usually start the semester usually starts in October, so you should start preparing your application by February or from March. Up here in IELTS exam, you need some time to get through the training, IELTS training before appearing in exam. And side by side, you can go for the education loan application as well. So both things will run parallelly, but you should have everything ready by mid May or by end of April, because you need some time to apply for a visa as well, and that takes again 1 or 2 months. That could take 2 or 3 months as well.
Okay. So all in all,
Yeah,
6 months before I start with my application process, right?
exactly.
Okay. And once I get through everything and I start my course, how much time, since I assume that master courses usually are of 2 years, is that the same there in Ireland also?
It's different than any other country. In Ireland, it's only 1 year course.
Okay.
If you are choosing masters by research, they have it could be 2 years course then, but for taught masters, it's only 1 year course, and
Okay.
that runs from usually from September to August.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And how much is the cost of the course?
So it's again, it depends universities to universities and cities. If you are applying for Dublin city, it will be usually expensive to live in here, but a course fees is somehow similarly than the other universities. But there are options in Galway, University of Galway, University College Cork, and University College Dublin. And there are some really good courses available in Trinity College Dublin in Dublin City.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was you answered my next question, wherein I wanted you to just give a recommendation on some of the universities or good colleges where one can apply.
So the really good, you can search on the Google as well in terms of the university ranking. It completely depends on background, candidate's background. If they have a really nice profile, they have funding available, they can opt for University College Dublin. It's a highly like a reputed university in Ireland. But the teachers and professors, everyone is really great. It doesn't matter which university you go. It solely depends on your experience, on your your study component or your education or your knowledge.
Okay, great. And
But I would add on one point about the living expenses. If you choose Dublin, you probably be spending more money in terms of living.
okay,
So it's expensive to live in Dublin, right? If you choose Galway or Cork, it's less expensive.
okay, 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 got it. I think that these are good points to know. So all the
Yeah,
audience, please make sure that you're writing this down, you're making the notes, and start with your application if you want to in Ireland for clinical research. Okay.
yeah.
So moving ahead, like you mentioned about the financial aid, can you please brief us on how can one apply for scholarship and are there any prerequisites for that as well?
Like I was saying that it's a good to explore the university websites. They have very dedicated section for international scholarships. So go there, check each and every university's website, make a list of all the available scholarships, and check if you are eligible to make that application or not. They usually open the scholarship applications by mid-April or March, and then they close the application before the start of the course, a month before the start date of the course. So that's the first thing that you could do. And the second thing is checking with your course coordinators. if they have any fellowship available. Sometimes those research investigators, they have personal funding from government to sponsor one or two candidates from the prospective students, and this is how those prospective students work there for a year during their master's course. That's the second option. And there's a third option to check with the government agencies like Health Research Board. They sometimes have a funding for a master's degree course for especially for like research component. So you can check with that on their website as well. Uh, Otherwise, it's always best to drop an email to your course coordinator. Once you know this is the university, this is the course, ask your course coordinator. They will have the full list available for you. Sometimes it depends if you are coming from India, you're coming from Nepal, you're coming from Sri Lanka. There are specifically scholarship for country wise as well. There are lots of scholarship from China. They have special scholarships. So it's completely depend your background. It's good to ask your course coordinator as well.
Okay, that's good to know. So, compiling everything about the application process so far, whatever we have discussed is one can apply for this application 6 months prior. They should start the process. They should start the preparation actually. And then once they are ready, they can start with the application, which is nearly around October, right?
Yeah,
And one has to sit for IELTS. Some universities do accept PTE, as you mentioned, but then one has to check with the course coordinator or the
yeah,
university. And for the application, the statement of purpose, the usual documents that are required, that will be necessary. Apart from that, one should go and visit the career fairs which are available so that they get to know the universities where this kind of course is applicable or it is provided, basically, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Usually, the master courses in for clinical research, these are 1 year master courses, and cost will, as you correctly mentioned, that varies university to university.
It varies the cost for the master degrees varies from course from university to university. But if I have to give a rough figure, then I would say 15,000 euros for 1 year course. It's an annual fees for a master's course,
Okay, that's
and that doesn't include your study material or your
okay.
living expenses. So that's a separate. But
That's
it does include your exam sitting fees.
okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fair enough. So now coming to the course program, like during the course program, what would you suggest? Like, because I'm sure many people who would apply for this, they might not be aware of what clinical research is. So, what skills they should focus on while they are pursuing this course so that they can excel in the field?
So, like I said, if you know that you are applying for clinical research, you need to know that it's completely a non-clinical field. So, choosing your course module wisely is a first thing that I would say. Depending, that should align to your interest, and then you will have an opportunity to select your modules semester wise. So it you could explore the industry demand or market demand if you have experience in like a data analysis or collecting data, or if you have an experience in like communicating with patient or with the clinical team, you can opt the project management or clinical research administration modules. So it's completely depends on your interest. You will have an opportunity during your course to choose your modules. So once you finish your semester one, you will have an opportunity to select your module for second semester. And this is how it changes. And it's completely depends on your interest as well.
Okay, that's fair. And also, I wanted to know, like, usually when we apply for masters here in India, we will have a lot of industry exposure that will be provided, right? So, similarly, when we apply for this course in Ireland, how do the college ensure that the proper industry exposure is given to the candidates?
So in terms of industry exposure, they have the university. These courses are usually conducted within sometime within the hospital facility. So you will have an opportunity to do some kind of research work or under your supervisor. They have a there's some they do usually they conduct a career fair within the universities. Once you finish your course, they have a career fair where the lots of biopharma companies they come to the university, and then you'll go and submit and review, submit your CVs. But apart from that, they have a if you don't have any experience, you will have an opportunity for summer scholarship. They have this thing in the universities. You apply for them, and you can get a research exposure through this summer scholarship. Or else, if you don't have any experience at all, you can always ask your supervisor to volunteer with them in within the clinical trial team to just to get a hands-on experience.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's a career fair the universities conduct every year. Once you finish course, within the month or two, they conduct this career fair.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the usually they help in placements as well? Like,
So yeah, so all the universities they have a section, particular dedicated section for students. They call it student union, and you will have a student desk there. Even the libraries they conduct workshops to improve your communication skills, to improve your CV. They guide you as well how to apply. So that's the workshop the university libraries they conduct yearly. And there's a separate section, student union, under student union, student help desk, where they will guide you how to apply for jobs. And if you need any like communication skill workshops, they sometimes conduct one-on-one workshops as well. So you will have a lots of helps. You can even you could ask to your supervisor as well if they have any investigator or any within their circle any opportunity available. It's always nice to ask to people
yeah,
if they have anything availability of any volunteer work or any job. Otherwise, these section, particular dedicated sections.
that's really good to know. So, volunteering or being proactive, I think, is very, very important if one wants to really have a command on this subject, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, now coming to the opportunities, like how are the opportunities and which areas can one explore after they complete their masters in clinical research?
So it's completely depends again on your interest. If you like communicating with patients, you can go for hospital jobs where
Mm,
you will have a clinical trial team. They will be conducting trials in particularly disease area. Or if you like for a biopharma companies, you can opt for pharmaceutical side, industry job side. But again, if you want to go to industry side, it's good to have some sort of experience at your hometown. Whether the lots of candidates they are coming from India or from other places with with a really good experience. So you will be competing with them. So it's a good to have some sort of experience. Otherwise, if you don't have anything, any kind of experience, you're completely fresher. I would suggest to get a volunteer experience. They count it as experience, even if you're doing volunteer work. Otherwise, there are two different sections. You can start jobs in hospital or pharma industries.
okay, great. And I assume that this course can be applied from anyone. I'm like, how many dentists did you actually had in your batch? Or it was a mix of people from various professions.
So in my master's course, I was the only one dentist there, but I had friends too from medicine and from biopharmaceutical, from B pharma, from M pharma graduates, or from biotechnology as well. So this is open for all the graduates. It doesn't matter you're coming from engineering background, technological background, because once you get training, you do your masters, you will go back to your roots and will stick to your basic course or research.
Correct, correct. Absolutely correct. So, say I want to, I've completed this course and I've had some experience of volunteering and or summer scholarship that you mentioned. Now, once I complete this course and I get an opportunity in Ireland, uh, for how long can I actually work? How much? What is the time period for the work permit visa that is given to the fresh graduates?
So once you graduate from here, from Ireland, you will have 2 years post-study visa. where you can work full time. Full time means 40 hours a week. So there are no restriction for jobs to do any job. But after 2 years, you need to have a sponsorship visa or work permit to stay longer. Otherwise, you will have a 2 years, full 2 years to work without any restrictions.
Okay.
And usually the candidates they get job and they get work visa, sponsorship visa before finishing their 2 years.
Okay. And this
Yeah.
visa, work permit, or scholarship visa, sponsorship visa, as you mentioned, this will be, the process will be done from the employer side, or the candidate has to do it on their
Yeah,
own.
it's again if you are getting critical skill visa, so it's in the 99% cases, company will fund it and company will make application on your behalf. Otherwise, the second option is general work permit, where candidate will be applying and they will be dealing with the immigration office for their work permit. Yeah. And there is a third option that's a really nice option. I would suggest it's a hosting visa. It's basically only for the people who are working in hospitals in universities. That's a special kind of visa from Irish government, and that's only for the researchers. They call it hosting agreement.
And
Yes.
is there anything like after, say, you work for, say, 5 years or maybe more than that, do they also provide permanent residency in Ireland?
Yes, so after once you work here, you start working. Even the good thing is that in Ireland, your post study, your 2 years after you're finishing your master's, they will be counted in your residency. That's your post study visa, 2 years of post study visa. That will be counted in residency. Whenever you will be making your citizenship application, they will that period will be counted as resident. And once you work here for 5 years, you are eligible to make for your naturalization, citizenship by naturalization.
Okay.
And then you can have your Irish passport ready to go after 5 to 7 years.
That's good to know. So, coming on to the opportunities, outside Ireland. So, if I want to say go to some other nation, or I want to come back to India, how are the opportunities?
So, in terms of any other country, especially in Europe, I would say Ireland is I think, only English speaking country in Europe. Their first language is English, and that's the good opportunity if you're coming to Europe. And otherwise, Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, they have really nice master's degree program as well. But I'm not sure about their post-study visa thing. But yeah, there are loads of opportunity in other European countries as well. And in terms of India, you can always opt to go back and serve your own country. There are loads of opportunities. There are loads of research projects from ICMR or from AIMS. You can always work with them. There's a WHO. They have lots of research opportunities there, UNESCO, or you can align with any organization or any uh, foundation to work with them on research projects.
Okay, that's good. That's nice. Yes, as you mentioned, there are a lot of work. There is already a lot of work going on here in India as well in the space of clinical research. Yeah. So, what is the average pay scale? Just a fresh graduate, uh, will be offered.
It's again depends on your can it depends completely depends on candidate's profile. If you have experience, you probably will get more salary package or nice salary package. If you are starting from scratch, I would say 30,000 per year. 30,000 euros per year is an average salary for a beginner. If you have experience, you can negotiate more. It's increase depending on your work experience.
And how much time will it take for a fresh graduate once they get an offer to pay back their loan?
It's completely depends on your way of life and the way you spend money and on your day-to-day living style. If you're living in Dublin, probably will take some time to pay back your loan because living expenses are higher here. If you're living in any other county in Cork or Galway, you probably would save a little bit more, but you will be compromising a little bit with your modern day lifestyle. It completely depends on person to person. There are people who live in Dublin and they have paid back their loan within an year. There are people they live in Galway, but they're not able to pay back their loan for 4 years. It completely depends on person to person. But yes, definitely you will have an opportunity, you will have a good saving to pay back your loan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. So, coming to our last segment, I just wanted to know what is the biggest advantage that you have gained over the years when you're working in this space?
Like I was coming from a dental background and I didn't have any kind of experience, though I was really interested in public health research. But after pursuing my master's from here, I got a hands-on experience working with the clinical trial teams within the hospital in Galway, basically. So I did my master from Galway. I had this opportunity, and I had this. I was able to secure summer scholarship as well. I gained a really like clinical trial experience from them, research coordination, research management, project management experience from there. And the main thing is that you will get a exclusive hands-on experience from Ireland.
That's good. That's really
Yeah.
good. So, any last thoughts, any tip or advice for the audience?
For the prospective students, I would say to prepare in advance. You should have your IELTS exam report ready to go. You should have your education loan reimbursement letter from your bank. And the most important thing, it should align to your interest. And you should have some sort of experience or interest in non-clinical research field. Only then you can pursue your current clinical research. Yeah.
So I think, like, as you mentioned the start of the conversation also, that it's very important to have some form of education background in clinical research or some experience, in clinical research. So can a person, say a dentist who is in their internship year, they can utilize that internship year, right, to gain some experience in this field,
Exactly.
so that
Yes,
they,
exactly.
because I think that even if I do say a certificate course which is 6 months or maybe some formal training in clinical research, I can write my statement of purpose accordingly, right?
Yeah. To secure, I would say to secure any kind of scholarship, you need to have really strong background. It should align, the course should align to your interest. Only then you will be able to secure any kind of scholarship.
Okay, that's really
Yeah.
good. So any recommendation on the certificate program or any kind of formal training if I want to do in clinical research?
I would say there are some certificate courses that you can opt from ICMR. They sometimes do conduct some sort of workshops, a day workshop. This is what I did in Delhi. So I attended some certification courses from IC Institute of Cytology in Noida, but I think they have renamed the college name. It's not anymore ICPO, but
Okay,
yeah, they do conduct certification trainings, biostatistics, research components, clinical trial designing, or how to take consent, or communication skills, or to run statistical softwares. You can opt some sort of courses or workshops. You can attend some sort of workshops as well.
okay, that's great. That's good to know. So thank you so much, Dr. Anshul, for sharing all the insights and the pathway ahead in clinical research in Ireland after BDA. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sheen, as well, for having me here on this wonderful platform.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you so
all the
much.
audience, I hope you got all the information regarding this field if you want to pursue it from Ireland, how to proceed ahead with the master application and the opportunities that are there. There's ample of opportunities in this space. So, I hope you all, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Dr. Anshul. I will be sharing his LinkedIn profile in the video description. So, check that out. Now, before signing off, as I always say, please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. Like and share this. Comment if you have any other questions regarding this field. I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye and good luck.